Heat fans, I need your help. We're only 14 subscribers away from 11,000, a massive milestone here at the channel as we continue to grow. We're Tyler Herro away from 11K. If we get there on today's video, I'll take a shot on tomorrow's video, so help me out. Let's get to 11K. All right, another day, another Donovan Mitchell update. It feels like we might have a Damian Lillard situation on our hands as the Heat are linked to D-Mitch quite a bit already, and the Cavs aren't even in the offseason as they have Game 5 in the postseason tonight. But there is a Donovan Mitchell trade update / rumor out there via Brian Windhorst that I guess confirms the Heat having interest, but I also don't think it is one that Heat fans should want to see. The exact report was this from Brian Windhorst. He said on Get Up that multiple NBA teams are already preparing to make trade packages for Donovan Mitchell if it looks like in a month or so that he might be a trade candidate. The Lakers, Heat, Nets, and possibly Rockets are teams expected to be at the top of a list to inquire if he is traded. And I do want to start with this before we get into my concerns with this report, that it should be to no one's surprise that the Heat are linked and interested in Donovan Mitchell. It is the most logical upgrade the Heat can make to this roster to help you win with Jimmy Butler and Bam right now, but also preserve the long-term future of this team in the duo that would be Donovan Mitchell and Bam Adebayo. So it doesn't surprise me they should be linked, or they are linked. And to be honest, I'm just going to continue to say this until D-Mitch is not on the Miami Heat, or he either resigns or he is traded to a different team. You need to go all in for Donovan Mitchell. As I just mentioned a second ago, it is the only logical choice in terms of upgrading this roster for the short term and trying to win a championship with Jimmy over the next 2.5 seasons, but also trying to keep a future for this franchise over the next 7 seasons, because you'd have a duo, Bam and D-Mitch, who are both 27 years old and both really good friends. Mitchell is one of the top players in the NBA, and you've seen it in this postseason and in the regular season over the past couple of seasons. Just a flat-out bucket getter who can score on all 3 levels of the court, averaging over 26 points a game, but he's also upped his playmaking. I'm impressed with him able to average 6 assists a contest for the Cavaliers in the regular season, while he's playing alongside a point guard who is very good at distributing in terms of Darius Garland. 36.8% from 3 will absolutely play. But the reason why I'm always so interested in acquiring Donovan Mitchell is because he is someone who is stamped in the postseason. That is something Miami has desperately needed over the past 4 seasons. Jimmy Butler and Bam have been terrific in the postseason. There is no debating that. But it's always never been enough because you need someone from the perimeter to add in 20-plus points per game in the postseason and draw attention off Jimmy and Bam on offense so those two can be even more disruptive on the defensive side of the floor. You saw the Heat get that in the bubble when they took the Lakers to 6 games in the NBA Finals from Goran Dragic. He was so dang effective. And then Tyler Herro even played well in that postseason stretch. But then since that bubble year, the Heat have not had a guard able to break down a defense, get to the cup, and create from beyond the arc as well to stress the opposing defense and allow even more space for Bam and Jimmy to work. Mitchell does it all. You cannot ask for another player on the trade market right now that could do the things for Miami that Mitchell could. You can talk about KD, but he doesn't do it from the perimeter like that. He likes to work in the mid-range, and he's kind of losing his athleticism, obviously with the Achilles and the age. D-Mitch is explosive. Trae Young, not as good on offense and efficient as Donovan Mitchell. Better playmaker, yes, but Mitchell's a better scorer at every facet of the game, if you're asking me. I get Trae Young might be a better three-point shooter, but I'll take D-Mitch all day long on the offensive side, and he gives you at least a little more defense. BI also gives you similar things to KD, but a little bit younger. So you can't ask for anything else. The Miami Heat desperately need what Mitchell can offer, and that's why you need to go all in for D-Mitch. And let me ask you, be the GM. You guys should all be typing your whys, and if I see any no's in the comment section, I'm going to be pissed off if I'm going to be honest, because you're just telling me you don't want to see this Heat team get better. Should the Heat trade for Donovan Mitchell? Type Y for yes, type N for no. The issue, though, and this is what I mentioned off the top of today's video, is that the other teams that were linked to Donovan Mitchell in that report, if you will, or speculation from Brian Windhorst, concern me, and the fact that Miami would have to compete with these teams in order to get Donovan Mitchell via a trade. The Lakers, Nets, and Rockets were the other three teams mentioned alongside Miami. And when you look at those three teams, you're looking at teams that have more tradable first-round picks. You have better young players. Well, two of them have better young players, potentially. We'll talk about what they can offer. But one thing is for sure is that Miami has the least amount of tradable first-round picks. I mean, the Lakers have 3. The Nets and Rockets have 9. The Heat only have 2. Like, when you look at these 4 teams and what they can offer for Donovan Mitchell, it is pretty clear that Miami has probably the worst assets. They might have some of the best young players, which are assets as well, but if the Cavs are looking for a package that is headlined by first-round picks so they can either rebuild their team with Garland and Evan Mobley or flip those first-round picks for another player a la Brandon Ingram, and they want to really just overhaul their team this offseason with different play styles, they're going to want first-round picks. And Miami really can't offer them a lot of first-rounders if they want to go that route. We're going to look at the Heat's trade assets as well as those other 3 teams we just mentioned trade assets. But, I mean, we're sponsored by the best daily fantasy sports app on the market, and I got to show them some love. That is Prize Picks. So head over to prizepicks.com/CLNS or download the app and use code CLNS to get a first deposit match up to $100. It's so easy to play. You pick more, you pick less on 2 or more player stat projections, and you can win up to 100 times your money during the NBA postseason with as little as 4 correct picks if you go the demon route and make it harder. But like I said, there is a higher upside because with the demons, it's a higher stat total, but a higher payout. You can go the opposite, though, and go with the goblin, which is lower stat total, but lower risk and lower payout, My entry for tonight, P.J. Washington, more than 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He has been unbelievable for the Dallas Mavericks in this series. I expect him to have another good game more than there. Take the more than on Max Strus, 21.5 points, rebounds, assists as well. I feel Strus masterclass in Boston in Game 5, and I'll take the less than on Jrue Holiday, 13.5 points as well. Join me, join millions of others at Prize Picks right now by downloading the app and using code CLNS to get a first deposit match up to $100. The link can also be used, prizepicks.com/CLNS. That link will be in the description and comments of today's video. Join me, millions of others. You could join celebrities playing Prize Picks on a daily basis. Stephen A. Smith plays Prize Picks. My picks are better, but you can take his if you'd like. All right. I had time to look at what the Heat would be competing against in a Damian Lillard. We're really going back to last year. My goodness. In a Donovan Mitchell trade. That was muscle memory, folks. You don't remember what we were talking about last year. Look at how many videos I put on Damian Lillard. But here's the issue. If he were to be okay signing with the Brooklyn Nets, Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas, Noah Clowney, Dennis Schroeder, which is just a salary filler, and 9 tradable first-round picks. Those are some assets. Now, it was kind of rumored and reported that Tyler Herro is viewed equal or a little bit better than Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson as a trade asset. So you do have the player advantage over Brooklyn. The number that is just tough to beat is 9 tradable first-round picks. Now, with the Los Angeles Lakers, if they were willing to part ways with Austin Reeves, well, they have a pretty solid package because they can offer 3 first-round picks. Austin Reeves, who fits pretty well next to Darius Garland as a bigger body guard who can shoot it and handle the rock. Also have a guard they took 17th last year in Jalen Hood-Schifino, and then another good piece in Jared Vanderbilt that would be a good role player. Now, I think you could compete with the Lakers trade offer, but one trade package you could not compete with is the Houston Rockets. Now, I will say this, Donovan Mitchell could also tell Houston, I'm not going to sign a long-term extension with you, so if you trade me, you're getting me for 1 year, and maybe that turns Houston off and they go a different way. But if they were to offer 2 of Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson and like 3 or 4 tradable first-round picks because they have 9 of them. There is not a team in the NBA outside of the Oklahoma City Thunder that can compete with the Houston Rockets trade package. They are the most well-positioned team to get a massive All-NBA caliber player to pair up with Alfred Sengun and whatever 2 players that you end up keeping out of those 4 groups. So that's my issue here. I don't know if you're topping any of those trade packages. I think you could compete with the Los Angeles Lakers, but the A package of the Brooklyn Nets versus the A package of the Miami Heat, I don't really think it's a competition. The same thing could be said with Houston. You can battle it out between them and the Lakers. I mean, you look at what Miami has to offer. Obviously, they would not offer all of these guys. They are not doing that. They have 2 tradable first-round picks on draft night or just the player they take at 15 in the 2024 NBA draft and the 2030 first-round pick. They also have Tyler Herro, Jovic, and Jaquez, which are 3 good young pieces, and then salary filler of Duncan Robinson and Terry Rozier if you need it. Now, I will say this. If he ended up trading for Mitchell and only sent the 3 guys on the left plus the 2 first-round picks and I was able to get it done, I would expect them to flip Rozier and or Duncan Robinson in their contract to get a pair of players to fill out this roster, which is a conversation I want to have in just a second. But after seeing the Heat's top trade assets versus the other team's top trade assets, do the Heat have enough to trade for Donovan Mitchell? Do you think the Cavs would even consider Miami's package, or would they look at it and scoff and say, it's not enough? Type E if you think it's enough, or type D if you think it's not. And that's why I've shown this trade idea from me in the past, and I've seen comments say, that's too much to offer. I don't want to give up Herro, Jovic, and Jaquez. You have to, man. Like, if you want Donovan Mitchell, there is no doubt in my mind you are going to have to offer all 3. And Pat Riley's going to have to make that decision if he believes Donovan Mitchell is worth offering all 3. The 2 first-round picks should not move you at all. They should not, because if you're trying to win now, those things do not matter. The question is, are you willing to trade the 3 young guys? I'm assuming most of you are ready to trade at least 2 of them, Herro being 1 and then 1 of Jovic or Jaquez. But most of the people in the comments and the fans of the Heat, they don't want to trade both Jovic and Jaquez. But here's the bottom line. If you want Donovan Mitchell, you cannot be stingy with your trade offer. And obviously, we cannot offer the trade. We are just talking about what the Heat are doing and what they can potentially do. But this is more towards Pat Riley. You either go all in or you don't. Do you want to win a title with Jimmy Butler? Answer this question for me, yes or no. Well, if you answer yes, then here's the bottom line. Like I mentioned, you trade all 3 of those young guys plus 2 first-round picks. If you say no, well, then maybe you go in a different direction and try to retool this roster. But if you're answering yes to trying to win with Don or Jimmy Butler, but also want to maintain the future with Jimmy or with Bam and Donovan Mitchell, you trade all 3 of the young guys and the 2 first-round picks, and you get this show on the road, creating a big 3. And a lot of people are going to make a big deal of big 3s aren't working in the NBA in the contract. Well, at least for the next season, Donovan Mitchell's only making $35. Like, it's not like you're having 3 players making $45 million plus. That is not the case. Donovan Mitchell's still on a contract that is $35 million for next year. So is Bam Adebayo. So you would be able to have 1 year of decent financial flexibility. So think about this. Herro, Rozier, and Duncan combined for $73 million on the cap. D-Mitch would only be 35. Don't tell me about those contracts for at least next year. That would be a conversation to be had for the future with extending Jimmy Butler, but that will be a conversation for a different day if we end up acquiring Donovan Mitchell. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Remember, 14 subs away from 11K. We're trying to get there on today's episode. If we do, I'm taking a shot at tequila on the start of next episode, but we are going to have the latest Heat rumors, news, and everything in between covered on the channel. So hit that sub button, and as always, go Heat.